Hi, welcome back. We're going to pick up again where we left off in Luke chapter 12, when we're talking about the sources or causes of fear and anxiety in our world, and how what Jesus says here addresses those fears and anxieties, particularly with regard to what we possess. So what we have, what we own, our houses, our finances, our pensions, the things that give us stability. And that's very relevant right now for us as American Christians, but it's always been relevant, even before the coronavirus, because we enjoy a tremendous amount of wealth. And I've tried to make the point before that, what slowly happens to us over time is that we see opportunities to have things, and then suddenly those things grow, though, that the need for them increases, and we begin to see them not as luxuries or comforts, but of necessities. And so we have to keep up with everybody. And a lot of the anxiety comes from, are we going to be able to keep up? It really doesn't come from, are we going to starve? It comes from, are we going to be able to be even with the people around us and have the American dream and have all of these things? And of course, there's nothing wrong with hard work, and there's nothing wrong with diligence and preparing for the future and all of those things. But there is a time for us to reflect on this. In fact, our whole Christian lives, we should be reflecting on whether or not those things have grown bigger than they should be. And in times like this, where we're uncertain, where things become fragile or not as secure as we thought they were, it can often be a great opportunity for us to see what's really in our hearts and see how much hope are we really putting in the stuff around us and the things that we have. There's nothing like a circumstance like what we're going through right now that threatens those things, that makes our hearts really show us a mirror, you might say, showing us what we really hope in and what we trust in. And what I've tried to do is show you that that Jesus presents an alternative. He presents a way that we can be more secure in our hearts. And it's a beautiful way. He says, for one thing, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That in all of our striving and all of our working and all of our, trying to get and feeling the weight and the burden of performing in order to achieve, this is a message that breaks into that and says, wait, you have a Father in heaven who will give you the most valuable thing that you can ever imagine, his kingdom. And that's an amazing thing. And he even, points out that, he knows that we're sheep. He knows that we can't shepherd ourselves. He makes it clear that, he realizes our weakness, our vulnerability. Then he invites us, and we're going to talk more about that later in verse 33. He invites us to sell our possessions, give to the needy, provide treasures in heaven that cannot fail. Now, I say invitation because I don't believe that Jesus is, giving this as a hardline command to say, I want everyone to make themselves poor. I want you to get rid of everything so you're poor. And I'll talk more about that later. But this is an invitation to just to really take these things seriously, to be able to direct our attention outward instead of always being directed inward and what we have and what we're losing. And one of the things that we need to realize as we look at this, and we're going to press into this in the days to come, where verse 34 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And we're going to be talking about that concept, the concept of the heart. The heart is you. The heart is the command center. It's your motivational headquarters. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. What are you hoping in? What is your heart set upon? It's a major part of your life. The proverb says, out of the heart flow the issues of life. I mean, if you change the heart, and Jesus even talked about this, if you change the heart, you change everything. Actions, everything flows out of that. If the heart is unchanged, if it's bent in a certain direction, everything in your life is going to go in that direction. So this is monumental. It's huge that we need to address the heart. And so what I'd like you to do as we continue to look at this, I'm going to give you some devotions that just really try to drill down into this and understand this and hopefully see what Jesus is offering us here. But I want you to pray that God would be gracious to you and that he would reveal your heart to yourself. And the wonderful thing about this is if you're going through a very hard time right now, if you're seeing things slip away, if you're worried about the future, this is a wonderful time for you to see that unsettledness of your heart and to bring it to God and say, God, help me with this. Help me through your word, through the truths that Jesus is laying out here. Help me to see my heart and see what you have for my heart. And I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised that what God offers is beautiful, it's powerful, and it's necessary for us to get through this life and to feel the stability that he wants us to have. Thanks for watching.